And now it's time for our news bulletin from the Secular TV with your host, Mr. Media Man.
Good evening. Shock, horror, tragedy, breaking news. In his most recent book, Pope Benedict XVI has declared that there were no donkeys or cows at the scene of the Nativity. We were not able to get more information from the Pope or any other source connected to the Church because we didn't feel like it. We were, however, able to invite an expert to our program. We know he has good comments on this issue because he has a PhD in something else, and he often speaks badly of the Church. Good evening, Dr. Media Man. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. I can only say that I think it is preposterous that the Pope should do something like this. It goes against the traditional understanding of the Catholic people. The Pope should not have the power to change these age-old traditions. Indeed, we at the media are always very concerned with the traditional understanding of Catholicism, and have always expressed the notion that the Pope can't change that. Yes, the Pope should do something better with his time than talking about donkeys and cows. There are more pressing matters that the Church should attend to. It is true. There are more pressing matters. That's why we will keep reporting about this. On a related news story, a writer, who also happens to be a journalist, is planning on writing a novel about this. Good evening, Mr. Media Writer Man. Good evening. So, please tell us about your novel. It will be a historical novel about how Jesus was a PETA member, bent on animal rights and equal sexual rights for zoophiles. But the Church, so eager for power, crushed his true identity. This cowless and donkeyless nativity scene polemic is just a part of the Church's conspiracy to stop us from knowing the real Jesus. So buy my book, not the Pope's. As you all know, no news bulletin would be complete without a reporter going into the street, asking random people what they think of the subjects we broadcasted. So here it is. Good evening. I'm here with Mr. Random Guy in the street, someone who gets all his information from us media. He has very strong opinions about this matter.
Hello, Mommy.
So, what do you think about all this?
I am outraged about all these taxes.
We're not talking about taxes.
No.
No, we're talking about the Pope's prohibition of donkeys and cows on the nativity scene depictions.
I am outraged about the Pope's prohibition of donkeys and cows on the nativity scene depictions.
Good. Could you please elaborate?
The Pope can't stop me from putting a donkey and a cow wherever I want. They are a fundamental part of the nativity scene. What is this? Oh, it's a nativity scene. That's nice. Just Jesus, Mary and Joseph, the most fundamental characters of the nativity story. So simple, it's moving. What is this? A nativity scene? Without the cow and the donkey? How could they? How could they do such an awful thing? Barbarians. My life was forever changed. Everything that I knew was wrong. How can I trust the Church again if it fails in such relevant matters?
So there you have it. The Pope's negative impact on the average citizen. Back to the studio. Thank you, Mr. Media Man. We have also managed to get an exclusive interview with the victims of all this polemic, the nativity cow and donkey themselves. We now go live to Bethlehem. Good evening.
Good evening, y'all. I've never been on TV before.
So exciting. How's my hair?
Shush.
As important figures of the nativity story, what do you make of Christmas?
It's the best. The best thing that ever happened. The Savior of the world coming into existence. Wow. Just wow. So cool.
Yes. And besides, that baby Jesus was so cute. Just wanted to pinch his little cheeks. If only I had opposable thumbs.
So how do you feel, now that you are being fired, just before Christmas like that?
What? I'm being
How
fired?
is that possible? Oh no. I've got calves to feed.
This can't be. Who told you
didn't
such
know.
thing?
It
We
can't be.
haven't been notified.
Didn't you read the Pope's new book? He clearly states that the cow and the donkey don't belong to the nativity scene.
The Pope? You mean Benedict XVI?
You must be mistaken. His Holiness has invited us to our normal gig at the Vatican's nativity scene this year, as usual.
So, the Pope is keeping you to himself, while forbidding us from having you in our nativity scenes. How selfish of him.
Listen, mister. I don't know where you heard such rumors, but you are mistaken. We are spread across all the world, ever since Saint Francis of Assisi hired us some 800 years ago.
You must have misunderstood His Holiness. He would never do something like that.
We've been around for 2,000 years. We know that popular opinion has never quite understood the real meaning of Christianity, ever since Jesus was born. Quite the contrary. They keep misrepresenting Jesus' teachings and his church. That's probably what happened here.
And these misrepresentations have gotten worse since the media arrived.
Sadly, it is true. It has really gotten worse since the media arrived.
Unfortunately, it seems we have lost contact with those poor, deluded creatures. But let's resume our program with some phone calls from our viewers. We already have someone in line. Good evening, Mr. Christian.
Good evening.
So, what do you think of the Pope's statements?
First of all, I wanted to ask you, have you even read the book?
Read. Since when does a journalist have to know how to read something? What do you think I am? A medieval monk?
Just as I thought. You didn't read it. If you did, you would know that the Pope explicitly said, "No representation of the crib is complete without the ox and the ass."
What? I don't think I heard correctly.
The Pope wrote, quote, "No representation of the crib is complete without the ox and the ass," unquote.
Could you be a little clearer?
How could I be more clear?
It's so confusing. There's no sensationalism in that sentence. I can't understand it properly.
The Pope explicitly said that the nativity scenes must have the ox and the ass depictions.
But then, why is the opposite appearing in the media?
Dude, you are the media.
The Pope said that there were no animals at the site of Jesus' birth.
No. Here is what the Pope said. And I quote, "The manger, as we have seen, indicates animals, who come to it for their food. In the Gospel there is no reference to animals at this point. But prayerful reflection, reading Old and New Testaments in light of one another, filled this lacuna at a very early stage by pointing to Isaiah, chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knows its owner, and the ass its master's crib. But Israel does not know, my people does not understand," unquote.
Aha. So the Pope said that, in the Gospel, there is no reference to animals.
Yes. And that would be correct. Read the Gospels. There's no reference to animals there. But saying there is no reference to animals in the Gospel is not the same as saying they were not there. On the contrary, in his book, the Pope takes pains to explain that, even though there is no mention of animals in the Gospels, they are a vital part of the nativity scene. He defends their presence in the traditional depictions, and explains their theological significance.
Sir, this is a serious news network. I'm afraid I can't let you keep spreading that sort of disinformation around here.
Disinformation? I have been quoting what the Pope has actually written. The Pope has not forbidden the cow and the donkey in the nativity scene. He has not, as you said in an earlier show, said that the wise men came from Spain. He has not said that the angels didn't carol or sing. And he did say that the year of Jesus' birth probably was earlier than previously calculated, but all Christians knew that already, and it has never been a fundamental part of our faith. How is that
Oh, I'm afraid we lost contact with our viewer. This sort of thing has been happening all night. Technical problems and all that. In related news, there are unconfirmed rumors that the Pope is not a complete killjoy. However, All this talk about donkeys and cows is so last hour, so we will not investigate any further. What? This news just in. New archaeological research finds out that the Mayans have postponed the apocalypse until tomorrow. Check our exclusive coverage just after this message is from our sponsor. Good evening. Okay, who was responsible for screening the phone calls? I explicitly said just stupid, fundamentalist Christians. How can I look smart if you put in line someone who really knows what he's talking about? Someone is so fired. What? Shut the camera, you idiot.